Well, Copera, as you know, is the new information management system for both housing and finance. It's going to be a system which allows us to integrate all of the information from housing, from maintenance, from asset management and also from finance across both our Loddon Mallee operations, our Geelong and our metropolitan operations. But it gives us what we haven't had up until now, which is a comprehensive information system with the capacity for us to develop reports and to access information that we need from any site, from any part of the organisation. And to do that, we have to collapse the information from 3 systems into one. So there is a huge task in terms of data migration, data cleansing, and then of course when the system's been designed and developed, we'll have to train the staff how to use it. We'll have to test the system first. So there's a lot of work over the next 9 months before we're in a position to operate the new system. But we've got some very good staff working on the project. All of the housing and finance people who will use the system are effectively the ones who are doing that work, and they're led by 2 of our very bright young IT people, Paula and Trevor, and we've also got the assistance of a consultant. There is another major project on my grid, and that is Services Connect, which is a test project funded by the department. There are 8 test projects across the state, and Haven Home Safe is involved in 2 of them, one in the metropolitan northeast and here in Loddon. We are the lead agency, the backbone agency for Loddon Connect, and we're about halfway through. It's a 2-year project. It involves a partnership of agencies across the area, and the 7 key workers that have been drawn from the partnership are all very skilled, very enthusiastic and very keen in terms of the work that they're now able to do because of the sharing of resources and the opening up of the doors of each agency to clients who, rather than try and navigate their way through the whole system, will have an opportunity through a key worker to be introduced to all the benefits of the system and to develop with support their own plan, set their own objectives and work their way through the connected service system. Although we've had a maintenance function over a number of years, we are building our asset management function. As our portfolio has grown, that will involve at times selling of property, but it also absolutely involves the maintenance and the upgrades of property. It's very important. It's key to our sustainability as a housing organisation. And once again, we've got a general manager and we've got a team of staff who are dedicated to the work. It's not for everybody, but they're very keen, and the work they do is very important. I think the merger of Haven Home Safe with North East Housing Services in Melbourne is a complete game changer, because it's not only does it increase our size and the number of staff, but it also, from a strategic point of view, makes a huge difference in terms of the areas that we operate. It gives us a much stronger presence in Melbourne. From an operational perspective, it's going to mean that we are much better able to manage the Melbourne properties. We've been managing them from Bendigo. There's a lot that goes into a merger, but I think we're doing very well, and there's a lot of goodwill. And another task for us will be that we have to hand over metropolitan properties now to the Metro office, and there's a bit of work involved in that, particularly when we're going through this process of building a new information management system.
Probably one of the biggest ones is our clientele going into the Sydney Mire project, which is really, really exciting. There's nothing like this that's been on offer before. So we see clients that have potential that want to better themselves, that want to make that change in their life, but there's often not the opportunity for them to actually do that. So to us, Sydney Maya is giving them that opportunity, and there's lots of little highlights as well. For me, sitting in this office, when I hear the bell ring, which means that one of our clients have been housed, is really, really exciting. In the last 12 months, we were able to offer our homeless case management staff iPads to use on the ground. So when they're out in the field, they can take photos of ID, they can do their case notes. E-pens has been for our intake staff. They can take their notes just as they normally would, come back, put it on the dock, and their notes can then just be automatically transferred from writing to text into the Palm database, giving them this opportunity to actually spend that extra 15-20 minutes, so they're not as time limited as they would normally be with clients, is a great thing. We have merged our initial assessment and planning teams with our homeless case management team, so it's now classed as homeless services. The idea behind the restructure is more of a one-stop shop, so it's one team. Yes, there's still two teams, but the transition between those areas should be a lot smoother, a lot easier, a lot more accessible to get into. So we've also merged the homeless-based disability support with our Savvy team, and it's now called the Specialist Support Services team. Similarly to the homeless services team, this was done because there's a synergy between the two areas, and we thought it beneficial to both clients and workers to actually work under the one banner. So over a period of the last few years, our staff and our clients have experienced a lack of emergency housing, to pretty much the point there's now no one we can refer to in Bendigo apart from the odd motel that will take our clients. It's not sustainable. We've got a limited amount of funding. We can put people up for a couple of nights, basically respite. Our staff and our clients have become more resourceful around that. A lot of people just don't actually know where to go. We have clients who rock up here every day who have a notice to vacate, not knowing that they actually don't need to get out of the house the next day. They need support, they need advocacy, they need to be pointed in the right direction.
The 2014 tenant survey was released earlier this year, this 2015, in March it was finalised. Overall it was a really good report, and the satisfaction of our tenants was around 85%, general, either very satisfied or satisfied with our services. We found that people value their security of tenure very much. Being able to move into affordable housing, it provides them with an opportunity for security and knowing that they can stay there for basically as long as they need to. That and the rent affordability, and knowing that they're not going to be charged a rental amount that is unaffordable for them and their family. From the survey, there was a number of recommendations that have come out of the survey. One of them was around our complaints process. Although the level of dissatisfaction was quite low, it was still something that stood out, that it's perhaps not as transparent as it could be, so we're going to fine-tune our complaints process. Another recommendation was to provide more information to tenants about how they can deal with neighbourhood issues, and to better inform us about what neighbourhood issues are occurring. Currently we have 7 tenancy managers within the housing team in the Loddon Mallee region. We've restructured the team so that there's a team leader position there which cuts across both program areas, being transitional and affordable housing, because in recognition that the processes are very, very similar, and so we'll be working to better fine-tune that structure within the coming 15-16 year. Having a base in the metro area has enabled us to move those properties that we have managed from the Loddon region into our metro portfolio, which is a process that's still underway. We can do it even better now because we have staff located close by. We can be more responsive.
We've celebrated our 18th birthday. We've gone from one person in one office to 3 sites, 15 staff and 6 programs. So we've grown a lot in 18 years. Over the last financial year, we housed 17 new affordable housing tenants in our properties, and we housed 75 new tenants in our transitional housing properties. We saw 1,400 new clients come through the door that we assisted financially with around $110,000, and that went towards rent assistance, rent in arrears, and also accommodation. One of the things that we pride ourselves on is trying to move our transitional housing properties out into long-term affordable housing. So some of those 17 properties that we house are from our THMs, so which is really gives you a good feeling. Haven Home Safe took on board a few years ago the project of getting up and running Meminang Ngimbi, which is a women's place to dwell for women, Indigenous women who are escaping or have been through family violence. The aim always of Haven Home Safe was to actually transition it over to an Aboriginal service, so that was their highlight, to actually complete that. Emergency relief funding assists people with things like food vouchers, petrol. It can assist with some emergency relief accommodation. It can assist with many things for when someone is having exactly that, an emergency. So in April this year, we obtained emergency relief funding, and we've assisted about 533 clients with emergency relief, and around about $40,000 we've spent. Specifically in the Mallee, what we would like to do is to be able to grow our service, to work within our community, to give best practice, but also to support our community to work through homelessness and pending homelessness, and look for anything else we can do to support our community.